I want to start off this conversation actually by reading a list of the demands that were submitted at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Number 1, to hear your voices clearly on the issue of GBV within South Africa. Number 2, a change in the JSE listing criteria to include a 2% levy on profits on all listed entities to help fund the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. And thirdly, to all JSE-listed companies to contribute to a fund to resource the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. 2 years later, we are here to revisit the conversation and ask the tough questions, where are we actually? Right? Are we here sitting under a false sense of solidarity, or has there been some level of development on some of the critical demands brought forward?
So the question I was asked more than any other leading up to the march, I was asked, why were we marching to the JSE? Were we lost? They kept asking, but GBV is not an issue that business should get their hands dirty in. The answer to this is simple. Of course we understood. We understood the role of private sector, of business, and also the role that they were not playing but could play in the fight against GBV. The link between the economy and the lives of women is important. We would not allow business to be excused from the family crisis to go and run the economy politely.
We are not going to continue to look at GBV in isolation of everything that is happening in this country. Once you do that and put it on the side, you are in trouble. Because the response is going to be that it must be sorted out by a few in the corner. So it touches on the economy, it touches on health, it touches on education, it touches on almost everything that we do as a country. GBV is at the center. Once you remove it from everything else, you'll continue to be looking for resources on how to respond to it. So that's the first thing that we all have to accept and acknowledge.
We all know that gender-based violence and gender inequality has been plaguing the South African nation for a very, very long time. But I think it's truly now that it's receiving the attention it deserves. And I'm very happy that, even though I wasn't there, that the march actually happened in 2019 to say enough is enough. And as corporates, we need to stand up to see what is the role that we play in eradicating gender-based violence.
The organizations, the movements that do this work do not have access to the resources. We can't be shy about the fact that women's organizing is still gravely underfunded. So I'm really interested to hear, in terms of the money, how much has been distributed? What are some of the strategies in place to ensure that more money comes in?
We didn't rush into the allocation because we know that everyone is watching that fund, because that fund has got to bring real change. And therefore, we are interacting, with your leaders of the National Strategic Plan. So that 5 cents that we got has got to make a big impact.
we spoke about, our panelists spoke about institutional change. And my thinking is we also need societal change. And Doctor, I think part of the funding need to go towards the country and society developing a new man. A man that understands, even when you are angry, the woman is not a punching bag. You are equals with the girl child. You are not superior. Because you can't change an institution if the society that the institution is within does not change.
We have come to the end of our program. I think we can all agree that it was an important conversation to have. I still believe that moving beyond this platform, that we should strengthen partnerships across sectors. I do know that as civil society organizations, we will continue to organize ourselves to make sure we're holding the institutions of powers, those with the kitties, those with the purses accountable, because this work needs to be funded, but most importantly, we need to see the institutional change that can carry this work that we're speaking of. I would like to thank our partners who made this day possible. Travel safely and keep those masks on. Thank you.